Hello, my name is Glenn Dyer, and you are watching a Dyer-Situation. Today, I'm seeing the long-awaited Gods of Egypt. God. Okay. This, of course, is one of those movies that keeps getting splurged all over the internet because it's supposed to be appealing to my demographic, I suppose. Even though it looks like that Clash of the Titans remake if it were buried in dirt for about 5 years before they released it. Like, it looks like words escape me just how awful it looks. How do I even describe it? I mean, I didn't pay that much attention to the trailers, but just from like the look and style of it, I'm like, yep, Clash of the Titans. Here we go again. I guess that well ran dry, so they're trying something original? Is this original? I don't know. But at least I'm going to get great Egyptian mythology out of this, right? No, I won't. You can tell just by looking at any promotional picture that I won't. I don't know, maybe some cool fight scenes. They'll be exactly like what I've seen before. Well, maybe I'll see some blood or something like that. Make this shitfest like worth it in some small way. It's PG-13. There is nothing. So, not looking forward to it. Let's see. Well, okay. I'm just gonna say this outright. If the movie weren't so long, I would almost recommend it just because of how absurd and hilarious it is. For instance, anybody who knows even a smidgen of actual Egyptian mythology would find this ludicrous and not at all representative of like that actual culture. For instance, there isn't a pantheon, but, well, there sort of is. There is a pantheon of gods, but there's also like just regular dudes, like just like nameless people who are clearly gods and have like god powers, but they're not like they don't have control of anything. And you know, the god of the wind has all-seeing eyes or whatever, but can't control the wind, or at least they never mention it. I could have. It's weird. God, this movie has so many like flaws that it's very difficult to know where to start. It's like, I don't know, and okay. Yeah, so early on in the movie, I just decided, like, after watching the intro sequence especially, that, okay, this is not representative of actual Egyptian culture, by far. This is not representative of Egyptian mythology. This is its own thing. So I thought I'd treat it like that. And it's still incredibly silly and hard to take seriously, but so basically in this world there's gods, and they're basically like 10 feet tall people. They look exactly like people, and they rule over humans. Well, like, and Well, most of them are nice, but there's one evil one, and he messes things up, I guess. And yeah, they're they're not very exceptional, except that they can. Yeah, they're just 10 feet tall, and they bleed gold. Yeah, that was one thing that I actually almost liked, almost, except it was incredibly stupid. Is that they're 10 feet tall. The only real difference in their default form is that they're 10 feet tall and they bleed gold. Like they have gold instead of blood. And I almost liked it, because it gave them an excuse to use horrific violence in this thing without upsetting the MPAA, because it's not blood, it's gold. Flows like blood. But, yeah. The only problem I have with that is that almost everything in this movie is decorated in gold. You know, like like some of them are even wearing like gold outfits and stuff, and like they consider gold a precious mineral and all that. Wouldn't that be like us decorating stuff with like dried up blood? I mean, it's kind of disturbing. But they, of course, they don't even like think of that aspect of it, that like, wouldn't the gods be a little grossed out by it if everything was coated in their blood? I mean, jeez. How many slaughters had to happen for that? And yes, this is inspired heavily by Clash of the Titans. It feels like a video game at times, especially during certain scenes. Yeah. The main character is Aladdin. He has an actual name in the movie, but he's basically Aladdin. He's a street thief who is somehow able to do impossible things just because he has street smarts. Makes sense, I guess. And yeah, God, it's really hard to go into everything with this. It's really hard to know where to start. There's plot holes, there's logical fallacies even within itself. It's just, and it's hard to understand at times. But basically, this is a thing about equality and how you don't need to be rich. Well, that's actually a subplot. How it's okay if your dad castrated you at birth. Oh wait, death is meaningless. Yeah, this movie is it has to be seen in order to be understood. As I said, I would recommend it based on just like the absurdity of everything in it, except that it's way too damn long. It goes on for what seems like an eternity. So, yeah, basically, it's incredibly awful. But sometimes in a funny way. But usually just in an awful way. Some of the visuals are cool-ish. That's really all I got. I would do a Chadwick review on this. In fact, I might add it to the list. Maybe. I don't know. I get the feeling that a Chadwick review would be incredibly disjointed as well. So, I don't know how much luck you're gonna get out of this. Just trust me that it's absolutely ludicrous, and not in a good way, most of the time. Yeah. Oh, for instance, I didn't know that everyone had access to mascara and eyeliner and all the other makeups on every single woman featured in the film back in Egyptian times. But whatever, that's their own universe. Also, I didn't know that under a non-capitalist monarchy that somehow street urchins still feel that they might have a chance of achieving of of raising up in the ranks somehow. I'm pretty sure that wasn't a thing back then, and I'm pretty sure in a society like that it wouldn't be a thing. So, yeah, he's Aladdin, you know. Someday, Abu, things are gonna change. But it does. It absolutely does, because he's a superhero. And no, that's kind of a thing. Like, they're not treated as gods, they're treated as superheroes who are 10 feet tall. And can transform into bird people. And one dude gets his brain ripped out, but his brain is a crystal. And then it gets shoved inside another dude's head, which I guess means he has two brains. And one of them is a super smart brain. And it makes him more powerful, or it doesn't make him smarter, he's still just as dumb as he was before, but this isn't making any sense. And believe me, it doesn't make any sense in the movie either. So, yeah. And until next time, I'm Glenn Dyer, and you have been watching A Dire Situation.